Good evening or afternoon, folks. Ryan with the channel Overlord Shiny. We are finally, after nearly a week at this point, actually it has been a week, a little over a week, we are going to work on the last part of the weekend preview. Last video, we talked about the Lumineth and how they are being updated. A really exciting review. Release. And today we're going to talk about the rest of it. It won't be as long, hopefully, and I'm going to try to do another rapid fire video hopefully tomorrow talking about the news that came up recently. We have Magic the Gathering. We have a new Monday model reveal. I'm not sure if that's going to interfere with the Just the Tip Tuesdays for all of the models that come out, where they get a little snapshot picture. But today, let's talk about the Nighthaunt, the Soul Blight, and you. All right. We have... Ooh, let's play this guy. Mute you. I'd love to do it, but we know how YouTube can be. I really do love the Nighthaunt. Well, actually, I love most undead stuff in general. I always appreciated that sort of necromancy aesthetic. Very cool. He's got a very busy silhouette. That is your weapon. There we go. The Cruel Ghast Crusader. The Cruel Ghast. They could have just called it a Cruel Ghast. That's kind of just a neat name right there. Cruciator. I'm getting Harry Potter vibes from that name. All right, so some things pop into mind right now. We have this hip piece, and let's actually, boom, open up. I am getting vibes here from the Lumineth. I'm not entirely sure if that's on purpose or not. Where are you? Cenaric Cathalar. She has a very similar hip ornament. I don't know what those are called. And obviously they're not the same profile-wise. One arcs out or slopes out, and the other one's more of a crescent. If I had to guess, I would say that this is a debuffing character as opposed to a buffing character. He's not going to Banes as opposed to boons. But I don't know how that's going to translate gameplay-wise. Maybe that's minus bravery or hit or miss. That's typically how these models, they don't deviate too much from your standard +1, -1 schematic, but I could be wrong. I like it. In fact, I could have swore this part right here is part of the preview. Maybe even this part. I'd have to go through the Tuesday tips again. Yeah, okay. Now, we all knew about Guard of Steel Soul. I don't even know why I'm looking at the video, to be honest. It's probably not going to... Yeah, there you go. Cool model. Now, I know I said in previous video when I was predicting that I'm not really a huge fan of Stormcast. And it's not that I dislike Stormcast. It just, I feel they're overexposed already. And Age of Sigmar is fairly new for that to be happening. I guess I'm more worried about it achieving Space Marine status, where they have more releases than anyone else comparably. I dig it. Superhero pose, as made famous by Marvel. I don't hate the model. I think it's cool. I'm getting vibes from the this could have been the same sculptor for all I know. Space Marine, Armors Imperium, the Sororitas. All right. Let's just, yeah, Ephrael Stern. You can almost say that Ephrael Stern would be before the landing, and Guard of Steel is the landing. But they do have that same sense of motion with the capes. I like it. We all know there's a new edition coming soon. Nothing official, of course, but they're doing the Broken Realms, which is sort of what Games Workshop has done with 40K, where they had a Psychic Awakening book series that led up to the new edition. And everyone's assumption is that the Mortal Realms is doing the same thing for Age of Sigmar. And I would not be surprised if not only is Broken Realms, not Mortal Realms, excuse me. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to be released for that. Maybe in response to the Bellacore model we're going to see later in this video, which they have also unveiled today as part of the next Broken Realms book, right after the Broken Realms Techless book. I would not be surprised if Guard of Steel was sort of a model that is introduced for that, or for maybe another book down the road. They're just not going to release them willy-nilly. As I have said before, I really love undead models. I've been a fan of them since the Undead faction, back before Tomb Kings were a thing. They were all sort of one massive faction. Yep. This is an automatic 2 thumbs up for me. I love this model. I also love what this model might possibly represent, because they're not going to just release a White King for no reason. The White King is going to come with something. Now, we all know the Nighthaunt, not the Nighthaunt, the Soulblight Gravelords are going to be a faction, but we just don't know how that faction is going to take shape yet. We know there's vampires, obviously, or Soulblight, Soul Cursed. But we don't know if they're getting skeletons with that. We don't know if they're getting mummies or any number of variables that are going to be their line troops. It could be a complete vampire army. I just don't think that's what we're going to get. I think the Gravelords are going to be more the traditional Vampire Counts army. That's my prediction based off of what we've seen with the Cursed City box set for Warhammer Quest and what we're seeing right now. Now, I don't think this is going to be... Yeah, this is probably going to be this is definitely a generic model. Lovely model. I love the details. I love that Karstein vampire aesthetic. It fits right in with the old White King. Here we go. See, they had the same aesthetic going here, and I think that's obviously an intentional design choice. The raggedy cape and the raggedy cloak, you can put that in anything, and it is very appropriate for undead models. But they fit right next to each other. And they even got the bat helmet. Digging it. Love it. Hydraka's Mad Mob. I'm not a huge orc person. I don't dislike them. I just have too many armies I have to collect at this point. I would love if the sort of savage orcs or orcs, as they're called, had a, I want to say their own faction. I know they kind of put the orc war tribes together, which I understood why they did it. They did the same thing for the ogres on the Maw tribes. But I feel like destruction itself needs a little bit more of an injection into their range. I say that as someone who actively does not collect anything other than Gloomspite for destruction. Yeah. Okay, this guy right here, the Shaman, I assume is a Shaman. That's enough of a reason for people to get this box if they collect orcs. I think a plastic spellcaster for the orcs doesn't even exist right now. And you could probably proxy that as any other warlord. Wolverine orc, we saw him earlier. We saw him, and we saw the Tarzan orc earlier. The actual only new reveal has been the bow orc. Yeah, I like him. I'm like I said, I'm not a huge orc player, so not too much I gotta say about that. But I do like the models. I think my big issue is I would never collect an army like this because when I lied to you guys. I actually have Ogre Maw Tribe. I got them from the Blood and Bones box. I think that's what it's called. Feast of Bones. The one with the introduce the ogres against the brand new Ossiarch Bone Reapers. I bought 2 of those boxes because there was no way I wasn't going to get a head start on the Ossiarchs. So I do have the ogres. And much like the ogres, I don't like painting that much skin, regardless of the color. Okay, I've already seen all this. Obviously, I'm not gonna pretend I have it. But as soon as I saw this box set, I already knew it was gonna be easy to build. And yeah, it's easy to build, which I get it. It's stuff we've seen before. All right, this is what I'm really excited about. Now, my excitement for Warhammer Quest isn't about Warhammer Quest so much as it is the introduction of a new undead army. That being said, I think all the hero models are fantastic, particularly the Witch Hunter and the Duelist. And I'm really loving the black, white, and red theme they have running through this. That being said, I don't know how much of the Warhammer Quest undead models are going to play into a future army. We saw this with the Silver Tower a bit. They introduced the Arcanite. I was about to say Arcanite Reapers. Oh dear. They introduced the Arcanites, and the Arcanites, they're sort of the Snitchian marauder, if you will, and they have like the ogre thaumaturge and sorcerer with very very Benicio del Toro style head, and it introduced them the Arcanites, but really wasn't what the Arcanites were. It was more of a like sneak peek, and they had some components in that box set like the sneaky snufflers and the Skaven, who had nothing to do with the Arcanites whatsoever. And I'm wondering, with this release, who is going to be what. So let's go with the heroes. Yep. I'm getting Bran of Tarth vibes here. Never really seen a pelt with an eagle on it. That's new. Or whatever that would be considered in Age of Sigmar. Those are always traditionally the eagle is traditionally more of a Sigmar associated beast. So it's an unusual touch here. Clearly, it's a knight or paladin of some sort. If we had a future human-based faction of Age of Sigmar and they had models that resembled this, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I'm not going to lie. I love knights. I love paladins. I love Bretonnians. And that's not something we're really getting with the Order so far, particularly with the humans anyway. We've seen the Witch Hunter before, and I've got to say it's still my favorite model in this release so far. That's Warhammer for you. It's Witch Hunters, it's Bright Wizards, and it's Warrior Priests. The fact that we really don't have those three things in Age of Sigmar sort of distresses me, but I'm a patient guy. I'll wait. Love dwarves. He's clearly a Caradron. And I like him, but I don't like him at the same time. I think whatever this is in the back of him, maybe that's like a steam power or a steam or compression tube of some sort, and it shoots out. So there's science behind it. I don't know. I guess they kind of wish the profile had been a bit different. It could have been a giant barrel on his back. Be a great character for the Caradron armies, though. All right, we've talked about the Kenothi before. Don't hate this model. Like it. I also like what it could possibly represent as far as releases go for the Kenothi. I think that'd be a great faction to see in Age of Sigmar. This is also probably my second favorite model right here. Everything you see about this guy screams duelist. He screams swagger. I mean, just he has his coat half on and everything. This guy doesn't look like some 2-bit chump. He looks like he walks the walk and talks the talk. 40K players, I'm pretty sure you're seeing this and you're thinking, wow, that's a rogue trader. I don't disagree with you. And I think that was on purpose too. I would not be surprised if Games Workshop sort of saying like, hey, 40K players, look at Age of Sigmar, see what we got going here. 2 streams of revenue off the same person makes sense to me from a business standpoint. Now, this is one character I'm sort of conflicted on. I understand it's a Death Wizard or wizard who specializes in magic of Shyish, Gravesand, or however they want to phrase that. But I see him and it feels like he's a bad guy. He's got the death mask going on, which might have done it. They had just made it a regular old man, that probably would have been different. But they're trying to go for unique here, and I get that. I don't think this is going to be one of those models that presages a future release of any sort. And I say that with absolutely no context, or context is not the right word with it. Maybe context, but there's nothing that we've seen before that would suggest that we're going to see more wizard models that are human. Other than Warhammer Quest, obviously. This is someone who I thought was a Sigmarine, and they're not. They're a regular human being, which I want to see more of in Age of Sigmar. So for that fact alone, I'm okay with this. I can also see this being something you would put in 40K for the Sisters of Battle. The conversion potential is off the charts. depending on how the model's built. If it's built in such a way that you can't really do it, then that would suck. But I could definitely see this being like a Hospitaller or even a Dialogus. These are the type of ogres I want to see because you can't see their gut. I know a lot of ogre players, excuse me, a lot of ogre players are sitting there going like, dude, that's what the ogres are about. It's about guts. They're about being massive. And I don't appreciate the aesthetic that much. I'll be honest. If they had at least 1 or 2 units, and I mean units like as like a pack of 5 or 4, or however they do it for ogres, I'd love to see a pack where they actually have armor on. Because I hate painting skin. Oh my lord. Oh my Sigmar. Or oh my Emperor. I do not like painting skin. If I can give that Space Marine or that human being a mask or a helmet, I'm all for it. Yeah, all approvals so far. Okay, this is a classic unit returning. Bat Swarm. We had those back in the day for vampire counts. My initial response for these is that they could be for the Skaven, but there's just too many undead rats in here for that to work. They're cool. Now you're already kind of seeing some repeating stuff happening here. And they do a good job of switching it up, because if you look at the legs are actually oriented the same, I think. However, I wouldn't be surprised with the back part. I could be wrong here. Oh, that rat does switch things up. But they're like ogre zombies. Neat. Yeah, this is what I was paying attention to. It's the same body pose, but they're very clever on how they switch up the look. Obviously, if you look at the silhouettes are vastly different up top. Despite the legs having the same shape, they have a different helmet, and even the cape is a bit different. But this part right here, along with the shield, are repeats of each other. And you're going to see this across the way. And I think they showed both groups here on purpose to kind of illustrate that. So we'll talk about this guy right here. They have different capes and different shields. One has a mouth closed, open. And I'm not going to hit every part of these, but it's just kind of clever how they have managed to get multiple uses off of the same sculpt. Nothing new, I realize, but because we are limited on what we have information on, that's just stuff I want to point out. So each of these are probably going to be in a repeat sprue, and I suspect, I already see it. You can see that these guys are going to be repeats on the same sprue as well, which is a shame. I don't think this is going to be a cheap box set. We'll find out later when they announce it. But I would have loved to see the Dead Walkers or the Rot Walkers at least have the ability to exchange each headstone or gravestone. You look at this guy here and this guy here, they're obviously the same sculpt. But if you could switch out the grave marker, let's say with this one right here, or all of them, you could actually have quite a bit of variety in their silhouettes, which would make them different. All right, the big boss, the Radikar the Wolf. Getting massive Vlad the Impaler vibes here. I will say, and I don't know how other people feel about it, but I almost feel the pelt is a little massive. And I would have loved to see the pelts be the pauldron, for the heads in particular. I'm getting Russian vibes here. We've seen him before. This guy, brand new to Age of Sigmar. This is clearly going to be a big bad that's going to exist in other armies. Namely, I'm thinking of the Feast Eater Courts, because this would fit in very well there. And I hope they have a box set that is different sculpt than this, so that you can have at least two of them put together. I think that'd be really cool for an army. Or at least a sculpt where you can switch the pose a bit. Favorite bad guys so far. If we had more models that looked like this for the new Gravelords, maybe that's their version of a Necromancer, perhaps. I'll be grinning ear to ear for that. And we see the Curseborn, the Bloodborn. And I get the distinct vibe that these are going to be part of the new Gravelords army. And you kind of saw that with the Crimson Court, where you saw various stages of people not drinking enough blood. And we're kind of getting that here with the wolf legs, or the bat legs, however you want to call it. So we have two potentials here, or three. One potential thing is the standard vampire counts army updated for Age of Sigmar. Number two is it's going to be an army where they're all vampires in different stages of metamorphosis. Or the third option, of course, is a variation of both option 1 and 2 put together. I think that the variation of 1 and 2 put together, option number 3, I think that'd be best for Age of Sigmar, just so you have different build diversity. Book. Okay, we all saw Be'lakor earlier. I talked to you about Be'lakor. He was just announced today, in fact, as the next book in the Broken Realms saga. And, of course, they actually say it right here. Never mind. I just found out about it today. Don't be surprised that this guy is introduced soon, as in like the full picture of him. Yeah, that's it. That is it for our preview event. Sorry that it took me so long, guys. Yeah, it's exciting times to be a Warhammer player. In fact, it's probably been the best time to be a Warhammer player, whether it's 40K or Age of Sigmar. I know all my videos so far have been Age of Sigmar related. That's just because we haven't really had too much to go off of for 40K. I promise there will be 40K videos later. Like I have some opinions about the Royal Court and the Heroes of the Imperium box sets they just released. But I suspect we all share the same opinion there. But we'll go over it on the next video where I talk about Warhammer news. Hopefully that'll be out Tuesday or Wednesday. But we'll see. Anyway, guys, if you like my content, feel free to subscribe to support me. It really could use the help. I am a small channel, and I hope to continue doing this for you guys in the future. If you have any critiques, comments, or concerns, feel free to email me at overlordshiny@gmail.com. I'm working on a Patreon. I'm working on actual social media content, but I'm not there yet. So for now, if you guys just could subscribe or even just leave a comment down below, that'd really help me out. Anyway, happy wargaming, guys, and have a good day.